Gender-based violence occurs as a cause and consequence of gender inequities. It includes a range of violent acts mainly committed by males against females within the context of women and girls' subordinate stature in a society, and often serve to retain this unequal balance. It has been identified that the roles of health workers in addressing cases of gender-based violence in our society cannot be overemphasized. On this, Men Engage Nigeria, with support from Sonke Gender Justice, organized a 3-day training on gender-based violence for health workers in Kano.
It's a 3-day training for health workers. We realized that gender-based violence is on the increase, and so we decided to do a training for health workers, because the truth is that is even the first point where rape survivors or people who go through gender-based violence, that is where they even take them to. So if there are no enough evidence from the hospital, the survivors might not even be able to carry the matter to the court, because when they get to the court, the first thing they will need is evidence of it, whether there is semen, whether there is blood and all of that. And we notice that a lot of times when there is gender-based violence or rape or whatever, the first thing the survivor wants to do is wash their body and all of that. So we are training health workers to also see ways they can raise alarm.
Some of the facilitators shed more light on the menace of GBV and possible way out.
Based on the data that we have and based on what we hear on the news, is on the increase, especially certain aspects of gender-based violence. That is when it has to do with domestic violence and also rape cases. Those are the areas that are on the high increase in Kano. And what we do is we try as much as possible. We're working with, that's the NIM Foundation now. We're strengthening organizations or institutions that work on gender-based violence so that they can respond better to survivors of gender-based violence.
Parents are the mirrors of their children. So the parents should try to avoid doing certain things in front of their children. Then secondly, the religious leaders, they have a very, very important role. Like during church or mosque sermons, they should be able to educate, especially the men, because most of these things happen, majority of these cases are the men that are causing it. So therefore, these religious leaders really need to work hard, especially, as I said, during any opportunity they have to preach or to give out any sermon. So I think they have very, very important roles to play in our society.
The 3-day training is aimed at educating the health workers on the roles they can play in fighting GBV cases, and the training is also coming at the time the 16 days activism against gender-based violence is celebrated globally. Ilyas Yusuf, AIT News Kano.